and a very warm welcome to Fireside Fables. If you're seeking stories that weave tranquility into your night, guiding you gently towards a restful slumber, you found the right place. Here, we embark on journeys not just to distant lands and times, but into the heart of peace and calm itself. So, make yourself comfortable, let the day's worries melt away, and join me by the fireside. Together, we'll explore tales designed to soothe your mind, ease your soul, and escort you into the most peaceful sleep. Tonight, let the flickering flames and the soft cadence of our stories be your sanctuary. The harbor was still wrapped in the soft blanket of pre-dawn light when Maya stepped onto the weathered wooden dock. Her footsteps made barely a whisper against the salt-worn planks as she approached her sailboat. The Serenity. The vessel wasn't large, just 30 feet of carefully maintained wood and canvas, but it was all she needed for her journey through the Serene Archipelago. The harbor was still wrapped in the soft blanket of pre-dawn light when Maya stepped onto the weathered wooden dock. Her footsteps made barely a whisper against the salt-worn planks as she approached her sailboat. The Serenity. The vessel wasn't large, just 30 feet of carefully maintained wood and canvas, but it was all she needed for her journey through the Serene Archipelago. Morning mist clung to the water surface, swirling in delicate patterns as it caught the first hints of sunrise. The air carried the clean, crisp scent of the sea, mingled with the subtle fragrance of salt-kissed wood. These early moments, when the world seemed to pause between night and day, were Maya's favorite time to begin a voyage. With practiced ease, she began her pre-journey ritual. Her hands moved slowly across the Serenity's smooth wooden rails, checking and adjusting with gentle, unhurried movements. The familiar texture of the rope against her palms brought a sense of comfort as she inspected each knot and line. There was no need to rush. The archipelago had waited countless years to share its secrets. It would wait these few moments more. The sail unfurled with a soft whisper, catching the light morning breeze like a butterfly opening its wings to the sun. Above, the sky gradually transformed from deep purple to soft lavender, then to the gentlest shade of pink. Seabirds glided silently overhead, their wings catching the growing light as they searched for their morning meal in the calm waters. Maya had prepared for this journey with the same thoroughness she applied to all aspects of her life. The cabin below held everything she would need: simple foods, fresh water, charts of the islands, and a few beloved books. But more importantly, she had prepared her mind, letting go of the busy thoughts that typically filled her days, making space for the peace she knew she would find among the legendary islands. As the sun continued its unhurried ascent, it painted the clouds in watercolor shades of amber and rose. The harbor slowly came alive with subtle sounds, the gentle lapping of waves against wooden hulls, the soft clink of rigging against masts, and the distant call of awakening gulls. These sounds blended into a soothing morning symphony, nature's own lullaby. With the tide beginning its journey outward, Maya loosened the lines securing Serenity to the dock. The boat responded to the gentle current, easing away from its berth as naturally as a leaf floating on a stream. The movement was so subtle that it seemed the dock itself was the one drifting away, while Serenity remained perfectly still on the glassy water. The morning breeze strengthened just enough to fill the sail, and Serenity responded with a gentle lean into the wind. The bow cut through the water with barely a ripple, leaving only the faintest trail in their wake. The harbor's protective arms opened before them, revealing the vast expanse of sea that held the promising silhouettes of distant islands. Maya settled into the cockpit, her hand resting lightly on the wheel. The morning sun had warmed the wood just enough to feel pleasant against her skin. She had studied the charts countless times, memorizing the location of each island in the archipelago. But she knew this journey wasn't about reaching destinations. It was about finding the spaces between moments, about discovering the peace that exists in the gentle rhythm of waves and wind. As the harbor faded into the distance behind them, Serenity found her rhythm in the calm morning seas. The regular motion of the boat became a kind of meditation, forward and back, rise and fall, each movement as natural as breathing. Maya felt her shoulders relax as she synchronized with this ancient rhythm, letting it wash away any remaining tension from her body. The first island of the archipelago waited just beyond the horizon, but there was no need to strain to see it. It would reveal itself in its own time, just as all beautiful things do when approached with patience and calm. For now, Maya was content to simply be surrounded by the endless blue of sky and sea, held in the gentle embrace of the morning light, and carried forward by the whispering winds that would guide her through the Serene Archipelago. Chapter 2. The Isle of Morning Mist. The Isle of Morning Mist emerged from the horizon like a soft watercolor painting coming into focus. Gentle tendrils of pearly white mist draped themselves around the island's shoulders, creating an ethereal veil that shifted and swayed with each passing breeze. As Serenity drew closer, the rhythmic sound of small waves meeting smooth pebbles carried across the water, a natural lullaby that seemed to welcome approaching visitors. The morning sun, now fully risen, created luminous patterns in the mist, turning ordinary air into flowing ribbons of light. Maya guided Serenity toward a natural cove where the water was perfectly still, protected by curved arms of weathered stone. The anchor descended silently into the crystal clear depths, coming to rest among stones polished by countless tides. From her small rowing boat, each pull of the oars through the quiet water created perfect circles that expanded outward like ripples in time. The pebble beach greeted her arrival with a gentle symphony of soft clicking sounds as small waves rolled the smooth stones against one another. No footprints marked the shore. The mist seemed to polish everything clean with its perpetual dance across the landscape. The air here carried a different quality, heavy with moisture, yet somehow light enough to float through lungs like silk. Each breath felt cleansing, as if the very air contained some ancient wisdom about peace and tranquility. Maya's feet found their own path along the rounded stones, each step accompanied by the soothing sound of pebbles shifting and settling beneath her weight. As she walked along the curving shoreline, the mist parted occasionally to reveal small pools nestled among the rocks. Steam rose from their surfaces in the delicate spirals, joining the ambient mist in its eternal dance. These were the legendary thermal pools of the island, heated by the Earth's gentle warmth rather than fierce volcanic activity. Their waters held the perfect temperature, warm enough to ease any tension, yet cool enough to remain completely comfortable. Maya found a pool that seemed to call to her, its surface like liquid silver in the filtered sunlight. Smooth stones, worn by time and water, created natural steps leading into the pool's embracing warmth. As she settled into the water, the heat seemed to melt away the last remnants of the outside world. The mist created a cocoon of privacy, wrapping around the pool like a protective blanket. Time moved differently here. Minutes or hours could have passed as Maya floated in the therapeutic waters, listening to the subtle symphony of the island. Tiny droplets of mist gathered on her skin when she remained still, each one containing a perfect reflection of the diffused sunlight. The air was filled with gentle sounds, the distant rhythm of waves, the occasional soft plop of water dripping from stones, and the whisper of mist moving through the air. The pool had its own gentle current, created by the continuous flow of warm water from deep within the earth. This movement was hardly noticeable, just enough to keep the water fresh and to create a subtle massage against tired muscles. Small tendrils of steam rose from the surface, joining the mist above in an endless cycle of transformation. As the day progressed, the light changed, creating new patterns in the mist. Sometimes it would thin just enough to reveal glimpses of other pools nearby, each one nestled in its own private alcove of smooth stones. The entire island seemed designed for solitude and reflection, as if nature itself had crafted a perfect sanctuary for weary souls. When the time finally came to leave the embrace of the thermal pool, Maya found that her body had achieved a state of perfect relaxation. Her movements were slow and peaceful as she made her way back along the pebble beach. The mist continued its eternal dance, sometimes revealing, sometimes concealing the path before her, but always maintaining the island's atmosphere of tranquil mystery. The row back to serenity was equally peaceful, the oars dipping into water that now reflected the softer light of late afternoon. The mist remained constant, neither thickening nor thinning, maintaining its gentle presence like a guardian of the island's serenity. As Maya prepared for the next leg of her journey, she carried with her the profound sense of peace that the island morning mist had shared with her, a peace as deep and lasting as the thermal waters themselves. Chapter 3: Lavender Dreams. The approach to the next island was unlike anything Maya had experienced before. Long before the land became visible through the gentle morning haze, its presence announced itself through scent. A sweet, herbaceous fragrance carried on the warm breeze. The aroma of lavender drifted across the waves like an invisible welcome, growing steadily stronger as serenity drew closer to its source. As the morning mist gradually lifted, it revealed rolling hills draped in purple velvet. Waves of lavender stretched from the shoreline to the gentle slopes above, creating a mesmerizing pattern that swayed in the warm breeze. The sun, now high in the sky, cast a soft golden light over the fields, making the purple blooms shimmer like a sea of tiny amethysts. Maya guided Serenity into a sheltered bay, where the water was as smooth as glass. The anchor descended quietly into the crystal-clear depths, and the gentle breeze carried the boat into a perfect position, as if the island itself had reached out to welcome her. The air was rich with the calming scent of lavender, each breath bringing with it a deeper sense of tranquility. A narrow path of soft earth led up from the shore, winding its way through the purple fields like a ribbon. Maya followed it unhurriedly, each step releasing more of the soothing fragrance from the plants that brushed against her legs. The lavender stalks stood at waist height, creating the sensation of walking through a purple cloud that parted gently before her and closed just as softly behind. The buzzing of bees filled the air, not the frantic buzzing of a busy hive, but a gentle, drowsy humming that blended perfectly with the peaceful atmosphere. The insects moved lazily from bloom to bloom, their wings catching the sunlight like tiny prisms. Their presence added to the symphony of subtle sounds, the whisper of wind through the lavender, the distant murmur of waves, and the occasional soft call of seabirds gliding overhead. In the heart of the lavender field, Maya discovered a small clearing where smooth stones had been arranged in a circular pattern. The stones had absorbed the warmth of the sun, creating perfect seats for quiet contemplation. She settled onto one of them, feeling the gentle heat seep into tired muscles while the lavender swayed around her in hypnotic patterns. Time seemed to slow in this purple paradise. The sun's journey across the sky was marked only by the shifting shadows of lavender stalks and the gradual change in the quality of light. The warmth of the day was perfect, never too hot, but just warm enough to release the essential oils from the flowers, intensifying their calming fragrance. As the afternoon progressed, the breeze carried different notes of the lavender scent. Sometimes it was sweet and floral, other times more herbaceous and deep. The varying fragrances seemed to tell the story of the island itself, of countless seasons of growth, of gentle rains and warm suns, of the endless cycle of nature's patience and peace. Small butterflies appeared as the day went on, their wings in shades of white and pale blue that complemented the purple blooms perfectly. They danced through the air with unhurried grace, sometimes pausing to rest on nearby flowers, their wings opening and closing with the same rhythm as the swaying lavender. Their presence added to the dreamlike quality of the scene, as if Maya had discovered a corner of the world where time had decided to rest. The late afternoon light brought new beauty to the lavender fields. The lowering sun cast long, soft shadows across the purple waves, creating patterns that shifted and changed with each breath of wind. The color of the blooms deepened to a rich violet, while the sky above began its gradual transition through shades of blue to the first hints of evening gold. As Maya made her way back to Serenity, following the winding path through the purple haze, she felt as though she had been wrapped in a blanket of pure tranquility. The lavender scent had permeated everything: her clothing, her hair, even her very thoughts seemed to carry the peaceful essence of the fields. Each breath continued to bring the calming fragrance, a gift from the island that would linger long after she departed. Back aboard Serenity, the evening breeze still carried traces of lavender from the shore. As the sun began its final descent, casting a warm glow across the purple hills, Maya felt a profound sense of peace. The island had shared its gift of tranquility freely, asking nothing in return except the willingness to slow down and breathe in its calming essence. Chapter 4. The Bamboo Whispers. Dawn brought Serenity to an island where tall bamboo stalks swayed gracefully against the morning sky. Even from the water, Maya could hear the gentle symphony created by the hollow stems as they touched one another, a sound both musical and natural, like wind chimes crafted by nature itself. The morning light filtered through the dense canopy of leaves above, creating patterns that danced on the calm water surrounding the boat. The island's shoreline offered a perfect natural harbor, sheltered by curved cliffs draped in trailing vines. As Maya secured Serenity, the sound of the bamboo forest called to her, a melody carried on the gentle morning breeze. The air here felt different, cool, and fresh, with an underlying sweetness that spoke of green growing things and ancient earth. A well-worn path led from the shore into the bamboo forest, its surface softened by years of fallen leaves. Each step released the subtle fragrance of earth and bamboo, a clean, green scent that seemed to clear the mind. The path wound gently upward, never too steep, as if designed for peaceful wandering rather than purposeful hiking. As Maya ventured deeper into the forest, the bamboo stems grew taller and more numerous. Their pale green trunks rose like perfectly formed pillars, creating natural corridors that seemed to go on forever. The morning light filtered through the canopy in gentle rays, illuminating motes of dust that danced in the air like tiny stars, adding to the dreamlike quality of the forest. The sound of the bamboo grew more pronounced in the heart of the forest. Each breath of wind created a different melody as the hollow stems touched and parted. touched and parted. Sometimes it was a clear, bell-like tone that rang out above the others. Other times, a deeper, more resonant sound that seemed to come from the earth itself. Together, they created an ever-changing symphony that invited peaceful contemplation. Maya discovered a small clearing where several fallen bamboo stems had created natural seating areas. The ground was carpeted with soft moss that had grown over years of undisturbed peace. Here, the music of the bamboo forest could be heard from all directions, surrounding her in a gentle cocoon of sound. The filtered sunlight created shifting patterns on the forest floor, like nature's own kaleidoscope. Time seemed to flow differently in the bamboo forest. The changing angle of the sun could only be noticed in the subtle shift of shadows and light patterns on the ground. The constant, gentle music of the bamboo masked all other sounds, creating a peaceful sanctuary where the outside world seemed very far away. Each breath of wind brought a new arrangement of tones, never harsh or jarring, but always harmonious. The afternoon light brought new beauty to the forest. Sunbeams slanted through gaps in the bamboo, creating golden pathways in the air. The light caught the edges of the bamboo leaves, making them glow like delicate green lanterns. Small breaks in the canopy revealed glimpses of passing clouds, their shadows creating gentle waves of darkness that flowed across the forest floor. As the day progressed, Maya discovered that different parts of the forest had their own unique sounds. In some areas, the bamboo was thinner and produced higher, more delicate tones. In others, older and thicker stems created deeper, more resonant sounds. Together, they formed an orchestra of natural music that seemed to play endlessly, conducted by the ever-present breeze. The forest floor was scattered with sections of fallen bamboo, each weathered to a soft silver gray by time and elements. These pieces had their own part to play in the forest's symphony, creating gentle hollow sounds when touched by other swaying stems. Everything in this place seemed to contribute to its peaceful harmony, from the smallest leaf to the tallest stalk. Late afternoon brought a subtle change to the forest's music. As the air cooled, the bamboo stems contracted slightly, creating new tones that were somehow even more soothing than before. The light took on a golden quality that made the entire forest glow from within, as if it were filled with warm honey. When it was finally time to return to Serenity, Maya walked slowly, allowing the forest's peaceful rhythms to accompany her. The bamboo's song followed her all the way back to the shore, gradually fading but never completely disappearing. Even after she boarded Serenity, the gentle music could still be heard carrying across the water. Farewell symphony from an island where nature itself had created the perfect lullaby. Chapter 5. Crystal Waters. Morning light sparkled across the surface of the sea as Serenity approached the next island of the archipelago. From a distance, the water surrounding the island appeared to be painted in impossible shades of blue and turquoise. as if an artist had mixed the colors of precious gems with the sea itself. As the boat drew closer, Maya realized that the extraordinary colors came from the perfect clarity of the water combined with the pure white sand beneath. The island formed a perfect crescent shape, creating a sheltered lagoon where the water was as still as glass. Serenity glided smoothly into these peaceful waters, barely creating a ripple. The anchor descended through the crystal clear depths, and Maya could watch it settle gently onto the white sand below, stirring up tiny clouds that danced briefly before settling back into perfect clarity. From the deck of Serenity, the underwater world was completely visible. Schools of fish in subtle shades of silver and blue moved languidly through the warm waters, their movements as gentle as leaves floating on a breeze. The sunlight created shifting patterns on the sandy bottom, like lace curtains swaying in a gentle wind. Maya lowered herself into the perfectly temperate water, which welcomed her with a silk-like embrace. The water was so clear that opening her eyes underwater felt like looking through pure crystal. Delicate coral formations and soft pastel shades dotted the sandy bottom, creating natural gardens where tiny fish found shelter. The water supported her weight effortlessly, allowing her to float without any exertion. Time seemed to slow in these crystal waters. The gentle current rocked Maya in a smooth, rhythmic motion that felt like being cradled. The sun warmed her face while the water kept her perfectly comfortable, creating a balance of sensations that induced deep relaxation. Small waves lapped at the shore in a steady rhythm, nature's own meditation timer. The afternoon light brought new beauty to the lagoon. Sunbeams penetrated the clear water, creating underwater light shows as they reflected off the rippled sand below. Sometimes a school of fish would pass through these beams, their scales catching the light like thousands of tiny mirrors, creating a gentle sparkle that danced through the water. Along the shore, Maya discovered small tide pools where the water was even warmer than the lagoon. These natural spa pools were lined with smooth stones that had absorbed the sun's heat. Tiny silver fish darted about in these pools, their movements so gentle they barely disturbed the surface. The sound of water lapping against the rocks created a soothing background melody. As the day progressed, the colors of the lagoon shifted with the changing angle of the sun. Morning's bright turquoise deepened into rich azure, then softened to tender shades of blue-green. Each hour brought new beauty to the crystal clear waters, like watching the same beloved view through different colored glass. Maya found a comfortable spot on a sun-warmed rock near the water's edge, where she could trail her fingers in the clean, clear water. Small waves created by distant breezes moved across the lagoon's surface in gentle patterns, like ripples in silk. The air carried the pure, fresh scent of clean seawater and warm stone. The late afternoon brought a perfect stillness to the lagoon. The water's surface became like liquid glass, reflecting the sky so perfectly it was sometimes difficult to tell where water ended and air began. Even the fish seemed to move more slowly now, as if they too were being lulled by the perfect peace of this place. The sun's gradual descent painted new colors across the crystal waters, gold and rose tints mixed with the natural blues of the lagoon, creating an ever-changing palette of soft, soothing hues. The light reflected off the water's surface created gentle patterns that danced across the surrounding rocks, like nature's own light show, performed in the most subtle and peaceful way. As evening approached, Maya reluctantly prepared to leave this peaceful haven. The crystal waters had worked their magic, washing away any remaining tension and replacing it with profound tranquility. Even as she returned to serenity, the gentle lapping of the clear waters against the hull continued its soothing melody, a lullaby from the heart of the lagoon. Chapter 6. The Valley of Soft Rains. The island revealed itself through a gentle curtain of mist, different from the morning fog Maya had encountered before. As serenity drew closer, she realized the mist was actually a perpetual soft rain that fell in a perfect rhythm across the entire valley. The droplets caught the diffused sunlight, creating a shimmering veil that draped over the lush landscape like strings of delicate pearls. Finding shelter in a natural cove where overhanging cliffs protected the waters, Maya anchored serenity beneath the stone canopy. The sound of rain created a continuous, gentle percussion all around, but the drops fell so softly that they barely disturbed the water's surface. Each tiny splash added its voice to nature's lullaby, creating a symphony of peaceful sounds. A well-protected path led upward from the shore, passing beneath broad-leafed plants that had grown to create natural umbrellas. The rain fell in such a gentle pattern that walking through it felt like being caressed by the softest touch. Each drop was perfectly temperate, neither cool nor warm, but somehow exactly right, as if the rain itself had learned the art of comfort. The valley opened up before her, revealing a landscape designed for peaceful contemplation. Rolling hills covered in emerald moss stretched into the distance, their surfaces glistening with millions of tiny droplets. The constant rain had encouraged the growth of plants, with enormous leaves, creating natural shelters throughout the valley, where one could sit and listen to the rain's gentle song. Maya discovered a cave set into the hillside, its entrance draped with curtains of delicate vines. Inside, the cave was dry and welcoming, with smooth stone seats that seemed to have been sculpted by centuries of flowing water. The cave opened out to a perfect view of the valley, allowing her to watch the peaceful rain while staying comfortable and dry. From this vantage point, the valley became a living painting of tranquility. The rain fell in distinct patterns, creating ever-changing ripples in the small pools that dotted the landscape. Drops falling on different surfaces produced varying sounds. Soft taps on broad leaves, gentle splashes in pools, and the barely audible whisper of rain meeting moss. Together, these sounds wove a tapestry of peaceful white noise that seemed to wash away all thoughts of the outside world. Time moved differently in the valley of soft rains. The consistent rainfall created a sense of timelessness, as if this gentle weather had always been and would always be. The light remained constant too, filtered through the rain to create a soft, diffused glow that was neither bright nor dim, but perfectly restful to the eyes. Small streams had formed throughout the valley, their waters moving with unhurried grace between the moss-covered stones. The sound of these waterways added another layer to the peaceful symphony, a gentle background murmur that complemented the rain's rhythm perfectly. Each stream followed its natural course, creating patterns that seemed to have been designed specifically for their visual harmony. As the afternoon progressed, Maya noticed subtle changes in the rain's rhythm. Sometimes it would soften to the gentlest patter, barely more than a mist, then gradually return to its steady, soothing pace. These natural variations created an ever-changing melody that never lost its peaceful quality. The cave provided the perfect spot for peaceful meditation, its natural acoustics enhancing the sound of the rain while maintaining absolute comfort. The air carried the clean, fresh scent of rain-washed earth and growing things. Each breath seemed to bring renewal, as if the very air was being continuously purified by the gentle precipitation. When evening began to approach, the quality of light shifting behind the rain created new beauty in the valley. The water droplets caught the changing light, transforming from pearl-like transparency to the softest gold. The rain continued its gentle fall, each drop now carrying a hint of evening's warmth in its brief journey from sky to earth. As Maya prepared to return to serenity, she felt thoroughly renewed by her time in the valley of soft rains. The continuous, gentle sounds had created a deep sense of peace that seemed to have soaked into her very being, like the rain soaking into the fertile earth of the valley. Even as she made her way back to the ship, the sound of the rain followed her, a soft farewell from an island where nature had perfected the art of peaceful precipitation. Chapter 7. Moonflower Island. The sun was beginning its gentle descent when Serenity approached an island that seemed different from all the others. Even in the waning daylight, Maya could see large, unopened flower buds dotting the landscape like sleeping butterflies waiting to spread their wings. The island had a patient quality about it, as if it were quietly anticipating the evening's arrival. Maya guided Serenity into a sheltered inlet where the water reflected the deepening colors of sunset. The anchor descended silently into the calm waters as the day's final light painted the sky in gentle brushstrokes of lavender and rose. There was something special in the air, a sweet, subtle fragrance that grew stronger with each passing moment as darkness approached. A natural stone pathway led from the shore up into the heart of the island. As Maya followed it, She noticed the unopened buds growing more numerous. They adorned trailing vines and sturdy stems, their pale forms luminous in the fading light. The path itself seemed to glow softly, embedded with tiny phosphorescent pebbles that became more visible as darkness gathered. Finding a comfortable spot among smooth rocks, Maya settled in to watch the evening's transformation. The air was perfectly still, held in the peaceful pause between day and night. As the last rays of sunlight faded from the sky, the first stars began to appear, twinkling like distant diamonds in the deepening blue above. Then, as if responding to some silent signal, the moonflowers began their slow, graceful awakening. One by one, the large white buds started to unfurl their petals. The process was so gentle that it was almost imperceptible, like watching clouds change shape in a soft summer sky. Each flower opened with unhurried elegance, gradually revealing pristine white petals that seemed to glow in the growing darkness. As the moon rose above the horizon, its silver light brought new magic to the scene. The fully opened moonflowers appeared to capture and amplify the gentle lunar radiance, creating pools of soft light throughout the landscape. Their petals, pure white and delicately textured, reflected the moonlight like nature's own lanterns. The night air filled with the flowers' subtle fragrance, a sweet, clean scent that was neither overwhelming nor faint, but perfectly balanced. It carried notes of vanilla and honeysuckle, with an underlying freshness that reminded Maya of dewdrops on morning grass. Each breath brought a deeper sense of peace and tranquility. Tiny points of bioluminescent light began to appear among the moonflowers, as though stars had descended to dance among the blooms. These gentle lights moved with unhurried grace through the evening air, their soft glow complementing the moonflowers' radiance. Maya realized they were nocturnal insects, drawn to the flowers' elegant display. Time seemed to flow like honey in this enchanted garden. The moon continued its serene journey across the sky, its light creating ever-changing patterns as it filtered through the canopy of leaves and petals above. The moonflowers remained fully open, their faces turned toward the lunar light like eternal admirers of its silver beauty. The night breeze, when it came, was so gentle that it barely stirred the flowers, yet it was enough to carry their sweet fragrance in waves across the island, each new breath bringing a slightly different blend of the nocturnal garden's perfume. The air remained perfectly temperate, neither warm nor cool, but somehow just right for peaceful contemplation. As midnight approached, the island seemed to glow with its own inner light. The combination of moonflowers, starlight, and bioluminescent visitors created a landscape that existed somewhere between dreams and reality. Every surface held a soft gleam, and every shadow contained its own gentle luminescence. The hours passed in peaceful observation as Maya watched this nocturnal paradise flourish in the moon's gentle light. There was no need for movement or conversation. The beauty of the moment asked only for quiet appreciation. The moonflowers continued their silent vigil, their pristine petals reflecting the silver light above, their fragrance weaving dreams in the peaceful night air. Eventually, the first hint of pre-dawn began to soften the eastern sky. With the same unhurried grace with which they had opened, the moonflowers began to close their petals, preparing for their daily rest. Maya watched as they slowly folded their luminous petals, treasuring each moment of their gentle retreat. The night's magic gradually faded into morning's quiet promise, leaving behind memories of silver light and sweet perfume. Morning light revealed an island unlike any Maya had encountered before, a vast beach curved in a gentle crescent, its sands glowing with a warm, golden hue. Even from Serenity's deck, she could hear a faint, melodious humming carried on the breeze, a sound that seemed to rise from the beach itself, as if the shore were softly singing to the sea. As Maya guided Serenity into the calm waters near the singing beach, the ambient sound grew clearer. It wasn't a single note, but rather a harmony of gentle tones that rose and fell with each passing breeze. The anchor descended quietly into the crystalline waters, and the boat settled into perfect stillness, allowing the beach's song to fill the air uninterrupted. Stepping onto the sand for the first time, Maya understood the source of the mysterious music. Each step produced a soft, humming tone as her feet pressed into the fine grains. The sand itself was incredibly fine and perfectly smooth, almost like silk beneath her feet. It was neither hot nor cold, but held just enough warmth from the morning sun to feel welcoming. Walking along the shore, Maya discovered that different pressures and movements created varying notes. A gentle step produced a soft, high tone like a distant flute, while a slower, deeper press into the sand created lower, more resonant sounds. The breeze itself drew music from the dunes, as if playing upon an instrument crafted by nature over countless centuries. The waves contributed their own rhythm to this natural symphony. Each time they washed upon the shore, they created a gentle shushing sound that perfectly complemented the sand's song. The water's retreat drew new notes from the wet sand, creating a continuous cycle of ever-changing music that never became repetitive or harsh. Maya found a comfortable spot where the beach sloped gently upward, forming a natural resting place. Here, she could feel the vibrations of the singing sands through her whole body as the breeze shaped the beach's endless song. The sun warmed her skin, while the fresh sea air carried the clean scent of salt and minerals, creating a perfect balance of sensations. Time passed in peaceful measures, marked only by the continuous music of the beach. The sun's gradual journey across the sky changed the quality of light on the sand, shifting it from a morning gold to midday silver, each new angle revealing different sparkles in the fine grains. The beach's song remained constant yet ever-changing, like a lullaby that never loses its ability to soothe. Small sand plovers appeared occasionally, their delicate feet creating tiny musical notes as they ran along the shore, searching for tiny morsels left by the retreating tide. Their presence added another layer to the beach's symphony. Quick, light tones that danced above the deeper humming of the sand, like grace notes in nature's score. The afternoon brought a subtle change to the beach's music. As the air warmed, the tones became slightly lower and richer, as if the sand were relaxing into the day's gentle heat. The breeze carried the sounds in waves across the beach, creating areas where the music swelled and softened like a perfectly conducted orchestra. Maya discovered that by remaining perfectly still, she could distinguish dozens of different tones within the sand's song. Some were barely audible, tiny, bell-like tinkles that seemed to come from individual grains, moving against each other. Others were deeper, more resonant sounds that emerged when larger portions of sand shifted with the wind or waves. As the day progressed, the light took on the warm qualities of late afternoon, painting the singing beach in shades of honey and amber. The sand's song continued unchanged, providing a peaceful constant, while the world around it shifted through its daily cycle. Each new breeze brought a slightly different arrangement of tones, yet the overall effect remained deeply calming. When it was finally time to leave, Maya walked slowly back to Serenity, savoring each musical step. The beach's song followed her across the water as she prepared to sail onward, its gentle tones gradually fading like the end of a beautiful symphony. Even after the island had disappeared from view, the memory of its music lingered, a peaceful melody that seemed to have become part of her very being. The morning revealed an island shrouded in soft, wispy clouds of steam that rose gently from its shores. Unlike the vigorous geothermal activity found on volcanic islands, this place emanated a gentle, nurturing warmth that seemed to welcome visitors with a comfortable embrace. As Serenity drew closer, Maya could feel the air becoming pleasantly warm, carrying with it the clean, mineral-rich scent of sun-warmed stone. The island's shoreline presented a natural harbor where smooth, dark stones lined the water's edge, their surfaces gleaming with a subtle iridescence. As Maya anchored Serenity in the calm waters, she noticed how the stones seemed to radiate a constant, gentle heat, not hot enough to be uncomfortable, but warm enough to create a soothing atmosphere even over the water. Stepping ashore, Maya found that each stone had its own unique warmth. Some held just enough heat to be pleasant to touch, while others radiated a deeper warmth that seemed to penetrate tired muscles. The stones varied in size, from small, smooth pebbles to larger, flat surfaces, perfect for resting upon. Each one had been polished by time and elements to a silk-like finish. A natural pathway of these warm stones led inland, winding between gentle slopes where larger heated rocks created perfect resting spots. The air was rich with negative ions, from the warm stones, creating an atmosphere that felt cleansing and rejuvenating with each breath. Soft wisps of steam rose here and there, adding to the peaceful atmosphere without ever becoming too humid or uncomfortable. Maya discovered a perfect spot where several large, flat stones created a natural reclining area. The stone's surface temperature was ideal, warm enough to ease any tension, yet cool enough to rest upon comfortably. Above, seabirds glided lazily on thermal currents, their graceful movements adding to the sense of peaceful floating that the warm stones induced. Time seemed to melt away like morning mist as Maya rested on the warm stone. The heat penetrated gently through her entire body, releasing tension she hadn't even realized she was carrying. The stone beneath her seemed to pulse with the earth's own heartbeat, creating a profound sense of connection to the natural world. The air carried the subtle scent of warm minerals, reminiscent of sun-baked clay and desert stones. Each breath felt purifying, as if the heated air was carrying away stress and replacing it with deep tranquility. Small lizards occasionally appeared, moving unhurriedly across the warm surfaces, their presence adding to the timeless quality of the place. As the day progressed, Maya discovered that different areas of the island offered varying levels of warmth. Some stones held just enough heat to warm cold feet, while others provided deeper, more penetrating warmth. Each area seemed perfectly suited for different types of relaxation, as if the island itself understood the varied needs of its visitors. The afternoon light brought new beauty to the warm stones, highlighting their subtle colors, deep grays, soft browns, and occasional hints of copper and bronze. The surfaces of the stones seemed to glow from within, their warmth visible in the gentle shimmer of heated air above them. Tiny crystals embedded in some of the rocks caught the light, creating endless points of peaceful sparkle. A gentle breeze moved continuously across the island, preventing the warmth from ever becoming too intense. The wind carried the sound of the nearby waves, creating a peaceful soundtrack to accompany the silent healing of the warm stones. Occasionally, the breeze would carry a hint of salt spray, its coolness providing a perfect contrast to the stone's warmth. As the day began to soften toward evening, the stones retained their soothing heat, though the quality of warmth changed slightly, becoming softer, more gentle, like a lingering embrace. The lowering sun painted the stones in shades of gold and rose, adding visual warmth to their physical comfort. The steam that rose from various areas took on the colors of sunset, creating a magical atmosphere of peaceful transition. When it was time to return to serenity, Maya felt completely renewed by her time among the warm stones. Every muscle had relaxed, every tension had melted away under the gentle, persistent heat. Even after boarding the boat, she could feel the lingering effects of the stone's warmth, as if she had absorbed some of their peaceful energy into her very being. The final morning of Maya's journey dawned with a gentle clarity, that seemed to mirror the peaceful state of her mind as Serenity prepared to begin its homeward voyage. The entire archipelago appeared to bid farewell with a display of tranquil beauty. The early light painted the sky in soft watercolor hues, while the sea remained as smooth as polished glass, reflecting the gentle transition from night to day. Each island she had visited seemed to whisper goodbye on the morning breeze. From one direction came the faintest hint of lavender's soothing scent. From another, the distant melody of bamboo chimes. The air itself felt charged with the collective peace of all the sacred places she had discovered: the misty thermal pools, the crystal waters, the soft rains, the luminous moonflowers, the singing sands, and the warm, healing stones. Maya allowed Serenity to move unhurriedly through the calm waters, savoring these final moments among the islands. The morning light revealed how the archipelago formed a perfect crescent in the sea, each island a unique jewel in nature's own meditation necklace. From this perspective, she could see how they were all connected, not just by water, but by their shared purpose of providing sanctuary and peace. The gentle movement of the boat created soft ripples in the still water, like rings of tranquility spreading outward into the world. Seabirds glided silently overhead, their wings catching the early light as they moved between the islands. Their peaceful flight patterns seemed to draw invisible lines of connection through the air, weaving the separate islands into one harmonious whole. As the sun rose higher, it illuminated the water with a pearl-like luminescence. Maya could see far into the crystal-clear depths, where fish moved with unhurried grace through forests of gently swaying seaweed. The ocean appeared to be breathing in slow, peaceful rhythms, its surface rising and falling like the chest of a sleeping giant. The memories of each island had become part of her, woven into the fabric of her being, like threads in a tapestry. She carried with her the peace of the morning mist, the calming scent of lavender, the gentle music of bamboo forests, the embrace of crystal waters, the soothing rhythm of soft rain, the silver light of moonflowers, the song of sacred sands, and the healing warmth of ancient stones. Time seemed to flow like honey as Serenity made its way homeward. The wind remained gentle and constant, filling the sails with just enough pressure to move forward while maintaining perfect calm. The boat's wooden hull hummed softly, as if singing a quiet song of gratitude for the journey they had shared. The afternoon light brought a spectacular display of natural beauty, as if the archipelago were offering one final gift. Rays of sunlight broke through scattered clouds, creating bridges of gold across the water. The sea's surface sparkled with countless points of light, like diamonds scattered across silk. Each wave caught and reflected the light in its own unique way, creating an ever-changing display of gentle radiance. As the day progressed, Maya felt no sadness at leaving, for she understood that she carried the peace of the islands within her heart. Every breath still held the essence of the healing places she had visited. The tranquility she had found wasn't bound to any single location, but had become part of her own inner landscape. The sunset painted the sky in soothing shades of rose and gold, colors that seemed to echo the warm stones of the healing island. Stars began to appear one by one, reminding her of the bioluminescent insects that had danced among the moonflowers. The evening air carried a gentle coolness that brought to mind the refreshing mist of the morning pools. As night fell softly around Serenity, the stars reflected in the calm water created the illusion of sailing through space itself. The gentle rocking of the boat became a soothing lullaby, accompanied by the soft whisper of water against the hull. The peace of the archipelago followed the boat like a blessing, transforming the journey home into its own form of meditation. Maya knew that whenever she needed to find that sense of perfect tranquility again, she needed only to close her eyes and remember the islands had shared their gifts freely, asking nothing in return except that she carry their peace with her and share it with others in need of healing. As Serenity sailed onward under the starlit sky, the archipelago's final lesson became clear. True peace, once found, becomes a part of who you are, as constant and eternal as the stars above and the waves below. Thank you for allowing Fireside Fables to be a part of your journey tonight. We hope our story has gently guided you to the gates of dreamland, wrapping you in the comfort of tales told by the fireside's warm glow. For those of you who might still be seeking the embrace of sleep, stay with us a little longer. A calm, meditative peace will follow shortly, designed to ease you into a restful slumber under the watchful care of the night's peaceful embrace. Remember, the path to dreamland is always here, lit by the soft light of our fireside tales. May you find tranquility, peace, and the sweetest of dreams. Close your eyes and settle into a comfortable position. Whether you're lying down or seated, allow your body to relax completely. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with air, and then gently exhale, releasing all the tension from your body. This meditation will guide you into a deep, restful sleep. As you follow along, let my words be the gentle waves that guide you into the peaceful embrace of slumber. Begin by focusing on your breath. Feel the natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. With every breath, imagine a wave of relaxation sweeping over your body. Starting from the top of your head, let this wave of calm flow down to your toes, relaxing each part of your body one by one. Now, bring your attention to your mind. Visualize your thoughts like leaves floating on a gentle stream, drifting further away with each breath. There's nothing for you to do right now, nowhere you need to be, except right here in this moment of peace. As your body sinks deeper into relaxation, imagine a soft, warm light enveloping you. This light brings with it a deep sense of calm, filling every corner of your being. With each breath, this light grows brighter, your body feeling lighter. It's now time to let go completely. Your serene place is here to cradle you into deep sleep. With every breath, feel yourself drifting further into this haven of peace. You are safe, you are loved, and you are embraced by the gentle arms of sleep. As my voice fades away, let the calmness and peace you feel guide you into a deep, restful sleep. Your body knows what it needs, and it's time to surrender to the soothing rhythm of your breath, to the quiet of your mind, and to the warmth of your peaceful